In this lesson, we're going to extract complex business rules from a controller and place them into a service object. The feature requests keep pouring in for our ping pong app. We have a model and controller that process the updates for a ping pong match. Here's a quick look at our current setup. We've just gotten several requests for additional behavior when a match is updated. The winning team should get a congratulations email, including information about their next match. The losing team should get an email thanking them for their participation. Each team should have their wins and losses updated. The bracket for the tournament should get updated with the results. Notice how none of these new features are specific to the match model, but they're all tied to the behavior inside of the match model. We need to know who won and who lost before we can handle the results appropriately. Now, the quick option would be to place this code into the condition that already checks who won and who lost, the handle score updates method on the model. We could break up this method into more individual methods on the model, but at this point, let's try a different approach. Let's create an object dedicated to handling the coordination involved in updating a match. We can still rely on the individual models for behavior, but we can centralize some of the heavy lifting into a dedicated plain Ruby object. Let's create a match updater service object that maintains the exact behavior we currently have. We'll replace the call in the matches controller to use this new service object, which just does the same thing as the controller. And we'll replace the update scores call with the run call in the controller. At this point, everything is the same. Our model is doing all the heavy lifting in the handle score updates method, and we've just introduced our service object to wrap the update scores call. Let's move the update scores method into the match updater service object. We'll remove it from the model and move all of its code into the run method of the service object. With this service object, we could still use this in multiple controller actions or from the Rails console, so we're still keeping things dry and reusable, but we're taking some of the pressure off the model. Now for the big change. Let's bring the entire handle score updates method into the service object. We have to switch back to calling the methods on the match instance as we transfer the code. If we look at what we're doing here, we are really just doing the same block of code twice with the teams in different positions. What we need to know is who the losing team is and who the winning team is, and then process them that way. Let's switch to that approach by extracting the common victory handling code. We could go further and add a few methods to our models to clean up the service object a bit. A finish method to the match model to handle setting the status and assigning the winning team. We could add an add win and add loss method to the team models to handle the wins and losses updates. Could also change the update match results method on bracket to accept an instance of a match as a param. Our service object now completely owns the coordination of the different objects for updating a match. We could extract the match completed mailer call from the controller and put it into the finish match method in the service. This moves it closer to the other emails that go out and puts it in a method that only runs when a match is finished. We'll also rearrange the method to handle the updates first and then the mailers. And here is what our match model and matches controller action look like now. So with all this done, our controller is 100% focused on finding the right data and then rendering the right response based on the results of the update. The model owns details about itself like the victory conditions, whether it's finished or not, and how to handle its own updates when a team wins. It does not know how to handle the updates of other models when a team wins. It doesn't care. The service object cares. It handles all the high-level coordination between the models and makes sure the larger set of business rules are handled, but the details are still left up to the individual models and mailers. Here you see the starting point with our matches controller and the match model. You need to complete the following tasks to implement the use of a service object for containing business logic. 1. Create a match updater service object with an initialize method and a run method. The initialize method should take a match and assign it to an instance variable. The run method should take match params and pass that into an update scores method that's called on the instance variable. 2. Modify the controller to call run on an instance of match updater instead of update scores. 3. Move the update scores method into the match updater service object's run method. 4. Bring the entire handle score updates method into the service object as a private method. 5. Extract the common victory handling code into a method called finish match that accepts the winning team and losing team as parameters. So now the handle score updates method determines the winning and losing team and then calls finish match, passing in the appropriate teams as parameters. 6. Add a finish method to the match model to handle setting the status and assigning the winning team. 7. Extract the match completed mailer call from the controller and put it into the finish match method in the service object.